Lisa Miller in Amatrice. The Treasurer is warning that without budget cuts, debt will mount to $1 trillion in a decade. It's part of a push to get the opposition to back $6.5 billion in savings. But Labor says Scott Morrison should stop whining and start governing. Here's political editor Chris Uhlmann.
In the eyes of the Treasurer, past prosperity is no accident.
It is the product of more than 30 years of economic reform.
But Australia's prosperity has bred complacency.
A generation has now grown up not ever knowing a recession.
There are lifters and leaners.
There is a new divide, the taxed and the tax-nots.
And so the cost of government services has spiralled.
We must arrest the growth in our public debt before it is too late.
The numbers sound scary.
Our debt now stands at around $430 billion, with interest payments at $16 billion this year.
And if the Senate knocks back all government spending cuts, Armageddon awaits.
That will see our gross debt exceed $1 trillion in a decade.
Scott Morrison wants to ramp up the pressure on the opposition as the 45th Parliament prepares to convene.
We are asking Labor to vote for measures that they have already said and indicated they support.
But Bill Shorten doesn't look like a man under pressure.
I see we've got a Treasurer who's manifestly incapable of fixing the problems.
He has some plans of his own,
which I outlined yesterday, $80 billion in improvements to the bottom line.
And he knows that when Parliament starts next week, the pressure to perform will all be on a government with a one-seat majority.
Australians don't want a whinger as Treasurer. Australians want a doer as Treasurer. If they can't govern, they should get out of the way and let the rest of us get on with the job of looking after Australia.
The sternest tests of Malcolm Turnbull's leadership lie ahead, and the real threat isn't the open battle with the opposition, but plotting a path through the landmines of grievance and ambition on his backbench. Chris Uhlmann, ABC News, Canberra.